Eileen, if you mute, that'd be great. Thank you. Okay.
It's taking a second, but it's coming.
Fine.
Okay, there we go.
Hello, everyone. So Joni is going to pop up the poem. And this one, yeah, so it's just gone a bit blurred. That's it. Perfect, perfect. I just want to, I was going to mention, I don't know how many people you might all know this gentleman, but somebody that's been a huge inspiration to me is a man called James Finley, who speaks on Thomas Merton, who is a monk. And James Finley is who's still alive. He's 80, I think, and he was taught by Thomas Merton, who's written amazing books. And when you hear James Findlay speak, of all the teachers I've ever heard, including wonderful Joel Goldsmith, Herb Fitch, everybody that I could mention that we've all shared, in my life, I have never heard anybody whose voice and demeanor moves me to the core through the presence this man exudes and through his voice. And I was listening to an amazing podcast that's on YouTube, which I can send you all the link, although everything he does to me is outstanding. And he just had these two incredible lines that really inspired me to create this poem. I was so moved. I felt in such an incredible heavenly space that this poem just sort of just came. And you'll hear these two lines. These two lines, one is the essential never imposes itself, the unessential's constantly imposing itself. And the other line is to calibrate our heart to an ever refining scale. These words just moved me so deeply to write this poem. So I'll read it now. I have a gratitude jar I love to fill in every day. Some people have a journal, and that's their way. My jar is pretty similar as I write down all my gratitude, which raises my vibrations to a much higher altitude. It's so crucial for me to do this because it's proof I'm never alone and that presence is always guiding me from the desert back to home. To live in presence, to abide as that, to be unattached to the mental chat, to calibrate our heart to an ever refining scale, so never missing the smallest wonder in the shale. Breath by breath, with every inhalation, we're receiving grace until our expiration. God is in the air, beyond a veil that doesn't exist. When I pause long enough, something opens I could have missed. It's like a curtain parting and the light beams through, and a fresh breeze of the deepest calm imbues and renews my thirsty soul, which has longed for this throughout eternity. Well, sorry, throughout infinity. And to rest and abide as peace through daily life's divinity. Is it truly possible for our prodigal minds to return home to our Father who forgives us and proves we're not alone in every moment that we pause long enough for our senses to feel the peace that's always there when we drop our defenses? Like the tick and tock of the here now clock. Whether we are driving, cleaning, or shopping, we can just keep on starting and stopping. If we're writing emails on our computer, we can pause, letting in our inner tutor, which guides us in micro moments of meditation to that which instantly brings us elevation, where all things are put aright, which opens the curtain that beams the light. And all for this, for just one instant of time, wherein our truth, our essence gets to shine. So here is a rule we can obey a great many times a day, to keep touching base and going within, to feel his grace and release the spin the thinking mind puts on everything, which is the true meaning of original sin. The inessential is constantly imposing itself in thought riots. The essential never imposes itself and is only heard in quiet. We'll just rest for a moment and rest in that unimposing self. Okay. Has anybody here heard James Finlay? Spell Finlay, not with a D in the middle.
Yes, I've listened to him quite a bit, actually.
Yeah. So you'll know what I mean by the way his voice moves you to such a deep place of interiority. Because I think that sometimes the holiness can be heard in some people have a very special voice. Some people we listen to and we totally love their words and their words resonate. But some people who are so touched by Holy Spirit, like James is, oh, it just can't fail to bring you to a much, much deeper place. So when I send the email out at the end of this meeting, I'll put a link to one of his meetings. And he's recently bought out, he's done a lot of books. He's recently bought one out called The Healing Path by James Finley, which I've just got. And it's wonderful. But I was just moved to this place of this inner monastery inside. And yeah, so That's what came out this week. There's a wonderful exercise that he mentions in this video. It's a little meditation, and it's so wonderful that I just wondered if you'd like to do it. It's like a little visualization thing, and I think I'll do it with you. I think it'll be fun, and I think that so this is what one of the exercises that helps to see beyond the veil that comes from James. So if you'd like to close your eyes and just imagine that you're sitting in a chair in a white room. The carpet's white, the walls are white. There aren't any windows in this room. And you're just sat on the chair and you're staring at the wall. And somewhere there's an invisible dimmer switch. And the light in your room just starts to dim and dim and dim. But you notice that the wall gets brighter and brighter and brighter. And then you see that the wall is more like a veil, like a tightly woven but see-through veil, and not like a wall. And now as it gets brighter, you can start to see through this veil. And on the other side, there's God waving at you. The angels and the saints, they're all smiling and laughing, and they're just so happy to see you. And then suddenly they come over to your side of the wall, and they're surrounding you in this incredible love and joy. And then they carry you through the veil to their side. And you just can't believe it. And they're so funny. They just seem to have this giggly sense of humor, and it just makes you feel lighter and lighter and so loved. And it's just so joyful. And then they take you back over to your side. And now they're encircling you, and just you're feeling all this love. Now they're carrying you back over to their side. And it's just absolutely amazing. You just can't believe it. And then they're carrying you back over to your side. And they just keep carrying you from your side to their side. And you see that there is no veil. They're just carrying you. Now they're carrying you to their side. And you're just so giddy, so giddy. And now they're carrying you to their side, your side. And it's just so much fun. And then as you look at the wall, it starts to dim and dim and dim. But your side gets brighter and brighter and brighter. And you just can't believe what's happened. So you get up and you go to the wall, and it's a wall again. It just feels like a wall. You couldn't walk through it. But when you come back down to sit, you just see beyond that anything that you've thought of as a veil, and you realize there is no veil, that this going backwards and forwards is the wave of life, and we're always beyond the veil because there is no veil. And so we can do that every time that we think that we've been abandoned or we can't feel the presence, we can just do that little exercise and just see that when we do things like this kind of an exercise every day or a few times a week, you just start to realize that everything that you've ever read about is so true that it really is all illusion, and it's just you've calibrated that heart to a much higher level. So I tried it the other day and I recorded it, because when James was describing it, he didn't have much time, so he was more describing the process and sort of saying, so then they go backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. And I thought, well, I'm going to record it so that I have the experience of going backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. And I just found it amazing. So that was one of James's, and that's another thing that sort of contributed to me writing that poem, you see. So I don't know what you all felt about that. If you felt anything. Mm. Oh. Thanks, Rafi.
I just would say that I felt such peace doing that and realized at one point I wasn't thinking of anything in this world, in the illusion. It was nice. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks to James. Thank you. Mm.
Very trancy, Mandy.
Yes, it is,
In
isn't
and out, in and out.
it?
It's a
Yeah,
fractionating.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. What I'm going to do now is I'd like to ask somebody else to read the poem. The reason I want to do it again is because there's a texture to it. It's a bit different from the other ones. Something tells me. The only thing that I would say is well, these poems are given to me in a very specific way. And when I read them out for myself, I absolutely rely on the structure I've been given. So when I read them out, I kind of have to make sure that I'm not imposing my personality onto them, like making them more jaunty or more this or more that. And I also have to make sure that I don't make a mistake with the words, because if the end of the line doesn't rhyme, then we've missed the rhythm. So like I just said the wrong word. You could say, well, it doesn't matter. I said the word in eternity, which has the same meaning as infinity. But I was given infinity because it rhymes with divinity, you see. So if you can be self-correcting, if you just just go slowly when you read the poem, keep it to the structure, don't add even a little it or and or anything onto a line, and just allow it to flow in its natural way. And I won't stop you and correct you if you say the wrong word. Don't worry, don't be nervous about it. It's just that it's very important. I am finding in the stuff that I'm being given is that it keeps within the rhyme. So if the rhyme you've said doesn't rhyme with the next line, you've probably you've probably said the wrong word, you see. And I just wondered if there's anybody that felt drawn to read that poem again. Oh, Lynn, yes, you read it, please. I think you're muted though, Lynn. Got it?
There we go. I was trying to say, I can't, I'm muted. Oh my goodness. So lovely. All right. Okay. So the Prodigal Heart Power Poem. I have a gratitude jar I love to fill every day. Some people have a journal, and that's their way. My jar is pretty similar as I write down all my gratitude, which raises my vibrations to a much higher altitude. It is so crucial for me to do this because it's proof I'm never alone and that presence is always guiding me from the desert back to home. To live in presence, to abide as that, to be unattached to the mental chat, to calibrate our heart to an ever-refining scale, so never missing the smallest wonder in the shale. Breath by breath, with every inhalation, we're receiving grace until our expiration. God is in the air, beyond a veil that doesn't exist. When I pause long enough, something opens I could have missed. It's like a curtain parting and the light beams through, and a fresh breeze of the deepest calm imbues and renews my thirsty soul, which has longed for this throughout infinity, and to rest and abide as peace through daily life's divinity. It is truly possible for our prodigal minds to return home to our Father, who forgives us and proves we're not alone. And every moment that we pause long enough for our senses to feel the peace that's always there when we drop our defenses. Like the tick and tick of the here now clock, whether we are driving, cleaning, or shopping, we can just keep on starting and stopping. If we're writing emails on our computer, we can pause, letting in our inner tutor, which guides us into micro moments of meditation to that which instantly brings us elevation, where all wrongs are put right, which opens the curtain that beams the light. And all this for just one instant of time, wherein our truth, our essence, gets to shine. So here is a rule we can obey a great many times a day to keep touching base and going within to feel his grace that release the spin. The thinking mind puts on everything, which is the true meaning of original sin. The inessential is constantly imposing itself in thought riots. The essential never imposes itself and is only heard in quiet. The essential never imposes itself. The inessential is constantly imposing itself. And to calibrate our heart to an ever-refining scale are the words of James Finlay.
That was beautifully read, Lynn. I could hear it in your voice. That was so beautiful. Thank you so much. It's a real honor when somebody reads a poem to me, and that was lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mandy. I missed a couple of the words, but I think it was all right.
Oh, it's great, all rhymed. Oh, thank you.
Mary has her hand up.
Hi, Mary. Mary. Oh, Mary, yes. Hi, Mary. But you're muted, Mary.
Hello, Mandy. Hello,
Hello.
Liz. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
As the one line was read about going inside, pausing throughout the day and going inside, I thought, what would be a phrase to say so that I'm connecting? And I thought of, I love you. But I just wanted to put that out and see if you had another way of pausing, or maybe no wording at all.
Mm. I think it kind of, you can pick something from within that poem. I think that I love you, if that works for you, that's excellent. It's what works for you. For me, the word love, which, you know, is it's so hard to encapsulate it, and it's an attribute of God rather than the presence. The presence is that which is undescribable. So I have different things at different times. Just let often is the one, or let go, or I. Just that is the most simplest one of all. You know, because I doesn't interrupt. Me interrupts, but I doesn't interrupt, you know. And everybody here might have different ones, and I'd love to hear what everybody else says, because it's not just my idea. I only use what works for me, you know, and I just like the word pause. Do you know what I mean? It's just kind of what, or stop, you know. I used to have that long phrase, oh, stop the world, I want to get off. And that was too long, but it meant the same. But you know, it's it's just about doing those pauses, you know, because in the pause, that's where God gets in. Yeah. So I don't know, does anybody else have any way? Rafi'll have a way. Rafi's always got some great ways. Still muted.
Uh, is it okay now?
Yeah.
I use am I present now? That works. I use am I aware now? Am I loving now? Am I at peace now? That connects me immediately. Or I can just stop and no matter what's going on, just say, I love you. 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 If I'm walking into a store, if I'm driving the car, um, or I love myself because there's no difference between you and me. There's only the divine state of love. That's the only reality. Everything else is just, projected pictures, thought images. But it's all infused with the power of love. So that constant reminder also keeps the mind from wandering around. While the poem was being read, my mind tried to run to, I have to go to the bank today. When am I going to shower? When am I going to water the plants around the house? And I looked at it and said, are you kidding? It was literally nanoseconds. And I got right back to listening to the poem again. But it wants to interject all the time. It wants to interrupt. It wants to go to the past and the future. And I won't allow it to do that. I can stand back and watch it do that and go, yeah, well, it's just doing its thing. That has nothing to do with the truth. And go back to, am I present now? Am I loving now?
Thank you, Rafi. You know, it's true that it's constantly circulating around us all the time. It is nanoseconds. It's just rubbish all the time. And those things that you said, they were kind of on the verge of sensible things. I've got to go to the bank. I've got to go to this. But really, the most of it is just rubbish, isn't it? It's just garbage, absolute garbage all the time.
We
Well,
have,
I'll just say this before I leave.
Yeah, Rafi.
That when I'm really going through a hard time, I just say God, 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 God. When it's really hard. So, I mean, that's what I've used.
That's if that works for you, that's perfect. It's
Yeah.
what works for you. Yeah.
I have to go now. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm so glad that you came. Lovely to see you, Mary. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Yes, Lynn.
Okay, so this I learned from Jacob Glass, and I don't know if you know Jacob Glass, but he is a hilarious teacher of A Course in Miracles. Just he just makes you smile and laugh the whole time. And uh, when I find myself caught at any point, even the first line of what I think is happening, I just say the end. And
Yeah,
the end is all I have to say. Uh, it's over. The end.
it's a good one, that one. I've heard that one. I didn't know it came from Jacob, but it's a great one, that one, isn't it? Oh, it's a shame Mary went. We'll have to email that one to Mary. Because it is the end. Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic.
I just heard Bob Newhart going, stop it,
Oh yeah, that's my favorite. That is my absolute favorite. I'm such a fan. I've just got Bob. I could just recently got his, autobiography, but it's just filled with scripts really from the. It's funny, yeah. Mm, yeah. So we can just enjoy the silence, and when somebody's got something to share, just share away. Right, John. Hi, John.
Yeah, I go back to the poem. What's essential now? It just stops my mind with a question.
Yeah. That's good. That's absolutely, yeah. Yeah. What's essential now?
In whatever context. And it was essential for me to say before Mary left was I heard this lady talking about they asked her what her name and she said her name was Mary and what's her last name and she said Christmas. And that was her real name. She's a singer.
Mary spells name Merry. So
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Right, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I'll tell her that next time. Maybe she already knew it, but anyway.
You be the first to tell her that one.
I'll
Yeah.
just go back. I'll go back to what's essential now. Just captured by those flowers, Joni. They're essential. There's power in the flower.
Yes, Rafi.
Another thing I do as soon as a thought comes up, um, I look at it and go, "Okay, boy, did you see that? Yeah, I saw it."
I
uh,
love that.
and who and what am I that I'm that which is aware of the thought. Obviously, I'm not the thought. And as soon as I do that, it all fades away, and I'm back to now again. And the quiet happens immediately. And the quiet is so obvious and so omnipresent that it's so easy to just be it. And it doesn't matter what else is going on. I could be in the middle of traffic. I could be in the middle of, or just sitting home alone. Or I could even the television could be on. And all of a sudden, one of those thoughts comes up. And I just look at the thought, wow, where did that come from? Well, that's a beaut. Okay. And of course, who is what I'm aware of the thought. I can't be the thought. And they vanish pretty quickly. I do the same thing with the feelings. Where did that feel? Oh, what did that feeling? Oh, it's one of the three wants. It's wanting control. Okay. Could I let go of wanting control? Yes. Could I let go of wanting control? Yes. Could I let go? Could I just allow it to leave? And as soon as you answer the question, the divine presence completes the process, and the feeling is gone, and not only that feeling, but feelings below it, subconscious feelings, are also released that you're not even aware of. So the quiet then becomes more obvious. And the process goes on all day long. And as long as I stay with it, it can't run me.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Rafi. Absolutely. I love that. Yes, Lynn.
I have had a couple of things. One, when I was speaking before, the pharmacy was calling about my daughter's prescription. So I had to answer that, but I recognized I can answer that. I don't have to say anything because it's a recording. All I have to do is press a number when they ask for an answer. And so I didn't go into a story about, oh my gosh, I've got to do this. I can't say anything. I just did it. And it was perfect. It worked perfectly. Um, Also, if you're talking about Merry Christmas, that's married to Charlie Christmas. Yes, I do know her. I know her well. She's friends with Earl Purdy and also John Christmas, who's a rock and roll Course of Miracles teacher. But anyway, I've known two people in my life named Merry Christmas. So not but because a woman's name was Mary and she married a guy named Christmas. Uh, so I just find it interesting that people have a name of Christmas. Uh, but what I was going to say is that uh, what I've noticed, really begun to notice, is that uh, I will go into making up a story about something in my mind and not even recognize that I'm doing it. And that there is uh, I'll have a conversation with Sandy, for instance, my partner. And then after the conversation is over, I will have another conversation go up in my head about, this and this and this and this. And I'm noticing I'm having a conversation with her and she's not even here, but it's my own. I'm just making up a story. I'm just making up a story. And the instant that I recognize I'm making up, how many of my upsets and resentments and fears and confusions throughout my life have not come from actual conversations that I've had with people, but with the story of the conversation that I told myself later. And that's why recognizing that it's a story and I'm the one who's making it up is so essential. There is no one else is putting that into my head. There is nothing really going on. I'm not even relating or in the presence of these other people, and yet the story goes on. And that trick of just saying the end has, I mean, it has become so helpful to me because the instant I recognize it, of course, you have to recognize it first.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But you recognize it because you're paying attention and looking for it. And sometimes I just feel so silly. I was like, oh, why would I make up a story like that? How silly that is. And only the reason I would make up a story that had something to do with continuing a conversation that I thought that we both agreed was over is that I want to make somebody right or wrong. I want to be right and them wrong. And I can continue the conversation without their presence and come up with a better solution for me.
Now that's really cute. That's really cute. That what you have just said there is just so valuable. I really thank you, Lynn, because it that is the thing that we all do. We carry on a conversation with somebody who's not even there. And it's very funny. And yeah, the trick is to really be aware that we're doing that, we're thinking that. So yeah, absolutely. I can see three hands and four hands. I don't know who's next. Joni, you pick. So I don't know who's
Real quick was you talk about the pause. So with Rafi, can I let it go? Can I let it go? I remember one conversation as I was walking around about the future and my ex, and I realized it was totally a story, but I forgot to pause to let the grace in. So now I'm going to pause more. You said it a million times, but I'm going to do it. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yes,
Now,
Linda. Sorry, I don't know who. Linda. Yeah.
John, Linda, and Ressa.
Oh, it's John, Linda, and Risa. Right, John. Hi, John. You're muted, John. That's it.
I don't know how Joni can manage all this operating
Oh,
with
she's
that
amazing.
It confuses me, but anyway, we're on now. It's the story bus that I got from Lynn. It's and you know that I wanted to comment on because it's my idea was to stop the bus, but then it's really the story bus. We've got to stop the story bus. Then the realization that the story is the meanings that I'm giving to it. You know, so we're back to lesson number one. You know, everything I'm giving all these meanings to it, and then judging it right and wrong after I've given it all the meanings. It goes round and round and round. It's very funny, and you know, and I think it goes back to your poem about you know, the joy and laughter everybody's in. Just realizing, oh my God, what a joke! I'm making all this up. It's a story bus, and do I want to get off? Is it essential now? Yeah, well, maybe it is if I'm having fun at it. If it brings a smile to my face, sure, go for it. Anyway, that's it.
I love it. I love the story bus. Thank you, John. Thank you. So, Linda.
Good morning. I find the penny drops every time I listen to everyone on the call. Something drops, and I go, that's what I needed to hear. So, what happened was when Lynn was coming on the call and saying, oh, my allergies are bothering me, and oh my God, you know, into her truth, at least. And I loved the interception by Rafi. He says, why don't you just allow your anxieties to go away? You know, and I listened to it and I thought, it's really that simple. It's just simply a choice we make to stay stuck, as John said, on the worry bus, or else to simply let the anxiety go. Okay. I find like with my sister, and as you know, or some of you know, she died a year ago of glioblastoma, brain cancer. And I find now, thanks to Mandy, I've had a couple of sessions with her. I simply just allow myself to feel the feelings. Oh, I'm feeling the heaviness of the sadness of missing her. Okay, so embrace it. Let's just put this into a blankie for now and just embrace it as it is and allow it simply the emotion to pass, which it does, of course. So I just love the idea of just allowing all these anxiety, allow the emotions to flow and let them go. Allow them to flow and let them go. Um, and I think in the Course in Miracles, nothing has meaning but the meaning I give it. How often I give everything such drama and trauma. And I didn't realize I was doing that until I get stuck and holding it like glue. So I love this. Allow all anxieties to simply witness them and go away. It's that simple.
It says it's kind of like not making a drama even of Lisa's passing. We don't need to mention, or you don't need to mention to anybody again, or in your head, the manner through which she died. We don't need to describe that. It was just the time, and that's past. And because you cause yourself even more upset by describing the illness or whatever. That
Uh-huh.
doesn't matter, does it?
No,
You
no,
know.
that's true. That's true, Mandy.
So
Yep,
that's something else to just drop away as well.
let it go. Yeah.
Yeah, because it wasn't your business how, when, how or when for any of it, But that's great, Linda. That's just everything you said. That's just fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Joni, for organizing this beautiful call with Mandy.
Yeah. And thank you, Lynn, for spreading it all out as well as, you and Joni do a great job and so grateful. Thank you. Ressa, am I pronouncing it right? Is it Ressa? That
Yes,
is
perfect.
lovely name. Lovely name.
Yeah,
Hello. Nice to meet you.
nice to meet you too. I appreciated your poem. It was lovely, and I'm looking forward to getting that in the email. Yeah, the word that's been working for me is detachment, and it comes from this little thing that I got off the internet, and I made a couple of copies, and I keep them around my house. And the first line, I won't read it all. the first line is detachment is experiencing our feelings without allowing them to control us. And then it goes, we step back and look at things objectively. Let me read a couple more lines, because that first line I really like. And then we let go and accept what we cannot change. We detach from others' choices, knowing that their spiritual work is not ours to do. And I just find that very helpful. And I have been, like a lot of us, like we're talking here, just, letting thoughts and feelings go by. And so for me is to not attach. I can let them go like linearly, like linear or linearly. But if I attach to one of them, then I'm making a loop. And I don't want to make a loop about any thought or feeling. I just want to keep letting them have that movement. And I want to experience them. It's not like I want to avoid anything. It's just that I don't want to. So I've been looking at it like that it's okay to experience. I'm here to experience is a good thing, I think, as an aspect of God, but to not make attachment and to not make real anything, because attachment implies resistance. It implies stuckness, or it implies, to me, it implies I'm making something more real than my observational identity. Yeah, thanks.
And also it's that you make it about your identity. If we attach to these thoughts, we make it that's me. I am like this. I have this. So when and it's just about as soon as we notice it. And if something comes up, like you say, it's not that we don't want to experience it. It's not about that. It's not about we're not looking for a path where we think, oh, I never want to suffer again. It's about that when it comes up, that we just allow it completely, but we just drop the words about it. We just allow the feeling to be there, and it dissolves. You see, it's only the thoughts about it that keep it, keep us stuck. We don't need to keep on going, oh, this hurts, or I'm sad, or I don't like this, we just allow the feeling, and it's the quickest way to me. Just allow it to be there, and then without adding words to it in the moment, and then it runs out. And then the more we do that and introduce these pauses, we get better at being aware when we're getting sucked into the mind. So that's all we're doing here, is we're just getting better. That is the trick, really. It's not knowing so much that we don't want to be. It's more that we just notice when we are stuck, and that's our only work, to just realize that for the last 10 minutes I've been sucked into that. Okay. And the more we do it, we get better at that noticing. So thank you, Russ, and I really enjoyed you reading that out, and that's just fabulous. Thank you. Joni, yeah.
My question is, and I hope it'll be okay to use wonderful Linda's example as the penny drop for me. So if I got this correctly, she's bringing in the past to this moment in describing. How could she have brought us to this present moment and shared her message, which was, allowing the grief to be wrapped in a blanket. So help me, or maybe Linda could say it again. So help me to be what you just said, to be in the present moment without labeling and giving meaning to the description of what happened when, and that she's passed.
Well, can I just say, because I was saying that to Linda, and I'd like to know what Linda says, but to me, like I could say to you, okay, my husband died of a brain tumor. That is meaningless to me. It doesn't add anything or take anything away. All I know is that he was with me, and then he passed. And of course, I went through like the grief that you would expect. But as the years went on, I've no interest in what the condition was. It means nothing. It just makes more of a drama about it. Why do I need to tell it to myself or tell it to anybody else? That's not him. That doesn't define him. And that's the point. It doesn't define him, doesn't define anybody, doesn't define us. Whatever is our condition, we are not that. Although many people walk this world as their condition. They believe that they are their condition, or it'll be the first thing that somebody says to anybody. It's absolutely irrelevant. It's all thought anyway. So we don't want to leave the person that we love and remember with that thought attached to them. That is not a good thought to have attached to them. They passed, and that's the most bittersweet, exquisite, because of whatever we feel. It's whether it feels incredibly sorrowful, but it's always mixed with the joy of the memory. But what gets in the way is remembering what they die of, and then you put yourself into how they suffered. Well, their suffering is like a second, and it's over, and there's no resemblance. We don't want to remember them like that. I'm very strong about stuff like that. Sorry if it was a bit, and I hope that's okay, Linda, with what I just said. Do you want to respond to that at all, Linda? Because Joni also asked you. You muted.
What I'm hearing you say is it's important not to get stuck in the story of what was, but to remember what the memories, the sweet memories that forever will be. And I feel very grateful to have had 70 plus years with this beautiful twin. So that's what I desire to focus on, is all the joy and the relationships, the wonderful times we had. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
It is, and it's not suppressing the suffering that you felt in the loss, because it's not all happy.
No.
Of course, there's the terrible sense of loss, but that's nothing to do. We don't have to then enlarge it and dramatize it with the illness they suffered. What
Yes.
we're dealing with is the loss, and that sometimes you feel great waves of sorrow when you just ride these waves of sorrow, because that sorrow shows how much you love that person, and that's why it's mixed. Because if we didn't feel that sorrow, then that feeling wouldn't have been as deep. So we're not suppressing one, we're just not adding something that's unnecessary, because we don't want to attach that to them.
Good. Thank you, Andy. It's helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. Is that clear to you, Joni?
Yes. I just, we do it out of, okay, my sister that some of you I've told who passed and had this and this and this, and I'm checklisting it off. Oh yeah, I remember now. But it's like the idea, that's the ego doing it. The idea that I could be quickly or more quickly in the present and get to the love is new. So I appreciate that. I'm going to try that. And we have Rafi and then Ressa.
I just want to say, first of all, regarding that, I really love missing my wife. She passed about a year and a half ago, and I love that I miss her. And I can't even explain that. But the other thing what I'm hearing a lot of is people identifying with their thoughts and thinking it's them. I do an exercise where I say, I don't make mistakes. I don't fail. I don't forget. I don't confuse. I don't accuse. I don't suppress. I don't screw up. That's all imaginary ego mind stuff. And that's not, which is it what I am? What I am is the reality of infinite being. And it has nothing to do with any of that other stuff. But I hear a lot of people saying, oh God, did I make a mistake? Oh God, did I screw up? Oh my heavens, did I do this? Oh, I said the wrong thing. That's not who we are. But if you keep identifying, if I even for a moment identify with one of those thoughts, then I'm caught up in that ego loop again of that victim mentality. And I have to be very careful about how I refer to what's going on in that mind. Lester Levinson used to say, if a person can control an entire country and they can't control their mind, what's well, what can they possibly get out of that? They're still a victim of their mind. So as long as I identify with mind, that's the victim mentality. But step back and look at it and watch it do its thing. That's fine. Let it do its thing. It has nothing to do. I don't criticize it. I don't, discourage it. I don't. It's doing it. It has nothing to do with what I am. How many times have we heard, I'm not my mind, I'm not my thoughts, I'm not my feelings, I'm not my body? Okay, that's valuable information, and stay with it. And by the way, once again, every day I go to the cute thing. Oh, you think you're a person who was born, is going to live a while, and is going to die? That is so cute. That is adorable. And the other one is, you think this world is real and you have to be afraid of it, or you have to get stuff from it, or there's something wrong here, you got to fix it. That's so cute. And I laugh my head off when I come to, it's really a an abbreviated and very quick way to release. It really is a wonderful release technique. Thank you for sharing that. Woo!
I would love, Rafi, for you to make a power poem of that. You know, when you said, I don't screw up, I don't look, you know, those words that you said, like one after the other sentences. I would just love it if you wrote a poem, if you made it rhyme somehow or did something and then sent it to us. That would be lovely. I really like the lines you said. I don't screw up, I don't fail, I don't lose, I don't, just everything that you said, write it down. Even if you just write it down that way.
I'll give
And
it a shot.
yeah, please. I loved it. I love what you said. Thank you so much.
I
And
was
it also, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I've been creating all my life. That's what I do: acting, writing, directing, singing. And it's never been me. It's always been the Father that works through me. It's infinite being is through me. Whatever I'm doing creatively, so I'll just turn it over and take care of it that way. Thank you.
I see a Broadway play coming from this, Rafi.
Well, I've already written two of them. I'm still trying to get those produced.
Thank you. Yes, Ressa.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, I was thinking we don't cherry pick our thoughts and our feelings, right? We just have to accept all of them, because to me it's like the unconscious is coming to the conscious. My observation, my true self, observing those unconscious fearful places, whether it's victimhood or know-it-all or grief or whatever, a younger version of myself, those pieces, those splintered off places and pieces where I've abandoned myself, they can come home to where I'm the observer. So it's like I'm the miracle worker in the every moment that I'm observing what's coming up from a non-unified old energy pattern. So I love the fact that it's miracle mindedness, really. It's not just a discipline that's kind of a pain in the ass or something. It's actually being the miracle worker in every moment by observing that which had it was an old pattern that was in a detachment place, versus ununified place. So to me it's a very loving, powerful uh, way to be, basically, as who I'm meant to be in form. If I'm going to be in form, it's to only heal, right? The Course of Miracles, that's the only purpose of form, is for healing. The world is only for healing. Yeah, thanks.
I think that's really interesting, Ressa, because, when we sort of then ask, well, what is healing? Because we have all sorts of ideas about healing, but it really comes down to exactly that thing that we've started with and that we've just been discussing all the way through this, which is that it's disregarding the unessential and only listening to the essential, which and it's the essential that comes from spirit. It's the essential that comes through us when we lay our thoughts to rest, where we don't get on that story bus of John's, and when we just allow these little pauses to come through. Because the Dalai Lama put it that the absence of judgment is love. Well, the only thing that judges constantly is the unessential mind that's going backwards and forwards like window wipers. Good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. Healing is to get aware of, like we've been saying all the way through today, of when we're doing that and just dropping it, because then we open a space, and when we open that space, we are peace, and people love to be around us, and to be with somebody who hasn't got a busy mind is just the most beautiful thing, isn't it? So yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dove.
Just want to say happiness is, just like is-ness is your only business. I'm starting to watch a lot more comedy movies and laughing so much. I've never laughed so much as recently. I used to watch these CIA, Secret Service kind of thing. No more. I'm just watching comedies and I love to laugh. Really, truly. Thank you. And all of you made today wonderful. Every single one contributed so beautifully. Thank you.
And so do you and Happy. Do you know, Dove, that's interesting because, oh God, what was his name? I've just forgotten his name. There's a man who laughed himself well, and he wrote a book, and then he went round the world. And I've got the film. Well, you can get it on YouTube if I could only remember his name. It'll come back or whatever. And he was given a terrible prognosis, and anyway, he just asked his wife to keep bringing in comedy movies on video and things like that, and people that were really funny. And he was asked to be moved to the other to the other side of the hospital because he was laughing so much he was keeping people awake. But then the nurses and the doctors and some of the other patients started crowding into his room and they started laughing as well. And he completely healed himself as a so-called fatal disease of which there was no cure, purely through laughing. And Norman Cousins, that's right. And you know him? You know that name, Dove? Yeah.
Yes, very much.
Yeah. So they made a film about that, and so absolutely. I mean, really, it's essential. I think that when any of us are ill with anything, if we just start watching comedy movies, that's the only thing you need. Because as we know that laughing does just incredible things on the physiological level, emotional level, and it also brings you to be very present as well. It's incredibly, incredibly important. Well, this has been fabulous, and I love it when we contribute, and if we're quiet, that's just as beautiful. So,
We could end with some laughing yoga.
if you want to do that.
Everybody just take a moment and take a deep breath in and just laugh.
That's so cute. Oh. Oh, thank you, Joni. Thank you.
God bless.
Thank you. That's a lovely way to end because we already read the poem twice, so that's great. And thank you very, very much. And I'll be sending it out. And I love you all and hope to see you next week. Bye
You'll
for
come back now. Yeah.
I think so.